welcome to another edition of Clam County Chronicle, your hyper-local source of news, events, weather, and whatnot in Clam County, Massachusetts. I'm Paige Paisley.
And I'm Chad Barkin. Crazy weather we're having lately.
Oh, insane. Thanksgiving must be right around the corner, huh? You going to the football game?
I am. You know, I used to be the backup quarterback.
Oh, did I date you? Oh, no, right. I dated the quarterback.
As you may have heard, wine at Lighthouse, which dates back to 1860, was recently auctioned off by the federal government, and the successful bidder nabbed the property for a mere $260,000. The Spartan digs were a tough sell to many due to the remote ocean location a mile offshore. But for the buyer, a stockbroker in his early 40s and father of 3 young children, the faraway fortress had all the ingredients for the ultimate weekend man cave.
You can say that again, Chad. Ultimate is right. And according to our sources, this guy has got some serious plans. Building permits have already been issued for a microbrewery, a satellite sports lounge, napping stations, a saloon, a high diving board, and a barbecue smoke pit. The deep cistern that once held the lighthouse keeper's drinking water will hold enough craft beer to keep visitors scurvy-free for the entire week.
Man cave timeshare opportunities will be announced soon. Fraternity brothers and those with hardships, such as toddlers who refuse to sleep through the night, will be given priority spots on the wait list.
Now, can I get on this wait list?
No.
In other news, 2 women were arrested Tuesday night for breaking into a popular Bogfield turkey farm and takeout restaurant. Responding to a tripped alarm, an officer found a woman hiding in the corner, eating turkey, stuffing, and cranberry sauce, all on, get this, white bread. In their defense, the women said that they were famished after a long detox and couldn't face another day of kale. The officer tied their wings together and stuffed them into the trunk. Now, this one I actually understand. Now, have you ever eaten kale?
I won't.
Yes, well, it is very rough.
A Clampton man called police to report a home robbery on Oak Street. He claimed someone had stolen a 5-pound block of cheese, a pair of work pants, a pot roast, and his Wellington boots. An officer arrived to find the man driving his ride-on riding mower illegally on the sidewalk and wearing 1/2 of a Wellington boot, and nothing else. They also found a very sick dog.
A Ginghamton woman called police to claim her cleaning lady had stolen a brand new pair of Tory Burch driving moccasins, a Burberry dish towel, and possibly a diamond stud earring. She called back 20 minutes later and said that she'd found the earring, but she was still concerned about the other items. The dispatcher advised the woman to clean her own damn house.
An unnamed Clampton town official was spotted eating donuts again, this time with the county dog catcher and a retired fire chief in Squifflewisset Harbor. They were overheard talking about aggravating rock music, fire hydrants, and the Friday night football game. An open meeting complaint was issued and town council was notified.
A newcomer to Squifflewisset issued a complaint with the building inspector and Board of Health, stating that her neighbor's property had become an eyesore. She objected to the pickup trucks, worn shingles, decaying buoys that were totally mismatched, and stacks of used lobster traps, calling them dirty and gross. Town officials recommended that she move to Clampton.
Early Wednesday morning, Ginghamton police responded to a road rage incident involving a 42-year-old businessman and a flock of wild turkeys. According to witnesses, the man became agitated after waiting nearly 3 minutes for the birds to cross the street. With his blood pressure boiling, he leapt out of his BMW, lunged at the flock with a golf club, then grabbed one of the turkeys by its spindly neck and strangled its silly before coming to his senses. The businessman blamed the restoration of the commuter rail, saying that all the train crossings were already slowing down his daily drive to Boston.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta get to work on time.
Absolutely.
Thanksgiving in Clam County means food, family, and old friends. 3 high school reunions will take place over the long weekend, with locations ranging from deluxe seaside resorts to budget-friendly meeting hall basements. While some alums can't wait to reconnect, others are changing phone numbers and dodging Facebook invites left and right. Responses have ranged from, "Those were the best years of my life," to "How the f*** did you track me down?"
Mark your calendars for not 2, not 4, but 6 holiday craft fairs taking place next weekend in Clam County are right around the corner. Shop till you drop for tasteful greens in Ginghamton and nautical tree ornaments in Clampton. Or head further south and scoop up a scallop shell Santa in Squiffo-Wisset. Or a bedazzled holiday dog collar in Bogfield. And don't load up on too many fruitcake paperweights, as you'll want to save room for those bagfuls of secondhand books and VHS tapes from the jumble sale. During the month of December, who doesn't need more useless stuff around the house? What about you, Chad?
Oh, yeah, the more crap, the better.
Literally, as many knickknacks and useless pieces of shit that you can have just...
Who doesn't love a bedazzled
Now let's see what's up in the wild world of weather with our own Doc Rockbottom.
Hi, I'm Doc Rockbottom, and this is the weather for Clam County this week. In Ginghamton, you can expect gusts of wind all week, then quiet periods, then ridiculously frolicsome gusts, then somber and thoughtful quiet periods, then more gusts with a very disrespectful attitude, and then gusts that say, "It's so cool to be a wind." So button up. In Snitchpoomoset, how do you pronounce that town? There'll be drooling, misty eyes, and lots of ahs and oohs as someone has another baby. Break out the Madras balloons, Martha. Over the rest of the region, expect cooler temperatures, but 100% humidity if it rains. For you sailors, the seas will be calm until Thursday, when they'll go nuts. So be careful. Speaking of boat people, some Gull Point viewers have called in asking for fishing info, since we are here on the Atlantic coast. We're working with fabled Ray Codpiece of Scallop Landing Bait and Rebait to get the latest. Here's Ray. Ray tells us that it looks like a good week for cod, haddock, and red herrings, mostly in the wetter areas of the region, which he describes as the ocean side of the beaches. Get that? For the kids at home playing Go Fish, Ray says ask for Jackson 7s. Wait, they're breaking in here. This just in from Bo Doney's astrology desk. Unexpectedly, we just learned that the moon will be in Capricorn this evening, which is not on the charts. So, as I do a quick computation in my scientific mega brain, just hold 1 second. Oh my. Oh my. Yes, it looks like they've triggered a over-rotation of the Crab Nebula, which in turn could trigger 4 million degree solar flares and thus possibly causing the melting of every planet of our solar system. Gosh, that stinks. So if you're heading to the Clampton versus Gull Point football game tomorrow, expect delays. Nationally, we're looking at thunder, sunshine, tornadoes, this blue thing here, clouds, rain, and some lovely, lovely sunshine on the west coast. And it's going to be really nice over here in the Ivy Leagues, where you have relatives, plus here in Oberlin, and probably over here in Stanford. I know 2 or 3 of you are there. Here in the Midwest, it looks like onion rings all week long, and we don't see that letting up. Now it's time for the weather question of the week. Axel French Fry of Swampfield asks, when can we expect the first nor'easter? A real nor'easter, Axel, is a big storm that can cause coastal flooding, power outages, and idiot sightseers falling into the ocean. I remember the Thanksgiving weekend of '97 when a nor'easter hit the coast. We lost power, ran out of food, and all we had was Grandpa's homemade wine, vintage Tuesday. We all got so sick as a family together, including Aunt Dorothy, who was playing her bagpipes on the beach and was never seen again, come to think of it. Good times. So, Axel, nor'easters are a killer. Stay away from bagpipes. I'm Doc Rockbottom, and that's the Clam County weather for this week.
Welcome. I'm David Game, Professor of Pilgrim Studies at the University of Hull, the 3rd greatest university in the United Kingdom. Much better than Oxford, which is a complete dump. Well, I'm here to tell you a few things about the Pilgrims that you may not know. So long, long ago, far, far away, in another country, England, old England, there lived the Puritans, sober, serious, religious men, and their king at the time was James I. James I slobbered a lot and surrounded himself with very handsome young male attendants, and the Puritans thoroughly disapproved of this. In fact, they disapproved of almost everything. So they decided they would go to Holland. Holland may not have been the best choice, because it was filled with weed-smoking gents and ladies sitting behind glass windows. Not sure what that was about, but the Puritans clearly liked it there because they stayed for 10 years. Eventually they decided they were going to save up and buy a boat and go to America. In fact, they were going to buy 2 boats. So they bought the Mayflower and the Speedwell. Everyone has heard of the Mayflower, and no one has heard of the Speedwell because, oh my God, the Speedwell fell apart. 60 miles outside of the harbour, the whole thing fell apart. Not a good boat. So there they were on the Mayflower, sailing across the ocean. And one has to wonder, what was life like on that boat? 35 serious, sober, religious men and women, and 60 lusty sailors. When they arrived in Plymouth, they found it was very, very cold. They were used to the cold because England was having a small ice age, but it was much, much colder in Plymouth. Bloody freezing, brass monkey weather. So they built some huts, but during the first winter, half of them died. Not the kingdom of God. At the end of the winter, they were stuck. But then, out of the trees, out of the woodland, out of Massachusetts, came Native American friends. And the Native Americans taught them about agriculture, how to grow corn, how to breed turkeys, disgusting creatures, and how to bury oysters underground in a big pit. Apparently it had something to do with animal husbandry. Then, in November, they decided to have a big feast, and the Native Americans brought the food. They brought a pumpkin, like this one, a little tough. They brought shallots. You might think that the shallot is a French vegetable, but in fact, Native American vegetable. In fact, they brought 2 shallots. There we go, 2 shallots. They also brought a little bit of salt. Salt makes everything taste better. And what did the Puritans bring? Well, they didn't bring anything. They didn't even bring a drink, because they didn't like to drink, which is a shame. But the Puritans had a surprise for the Native Americans. They brought them a blanket. There we go, lovely blanket. But the blanket was covered in smallpox. So they said to the Native Americans, take the blanket, lie on it a lot, roll about on it, give it to your children. And off they went, they took the blanket with them, and they did. And so the Puritans got Massachusetts all to themselves. First Thanksgiving, excellent. Well, thank you very much for welcoming me into your home through the magic of television. This is David Game, Professor of Pilgrim Studies, and next time we're going to talk about the War of 1812, when Britain burnt Washington to the ground. Good times. Cheerio!
Yeah.